I want to know, was it always just football? Like, were you a sporty kid growing up, or did you play other sports?
So really, I would say since I can remember 5 years old, since I started kicking the ball around, it was literally just the ball, man. Like I did not do anything else apart from just train, like football. That's it. That's all that was in my head. It wasn't forced. It wasn't like my dad was telling me you got to play football or anything. I was just naturally gifted, and I just sort of just went on with it. And I was just such a well-drilled, competitive individual. So I just sort of harnessed onto that and just literally football only. That was literally it. Nothing else, man.
Yeah, wow. Because for me personally, I was like all sports.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to sort of see the other side where you were so dedicated just to that one sport.
Well, really, bro, sporting wasn't in our family, sport in general. Like my dad moved from Lebanon, and he just literally came here, worked for his family, literally knew nothing about sport in a way. Same with my mum, you know what I mean? Like they didn't really know much about sport in general. So it wasn't really in our family to pursue professional sport career or pursue a football career or anything like that. That was completely foreign to us. Like it was not on the cards.
What was the career path? Like what did they expect?
To be honest with you, like my dad was very supportive of my football career since the first day. My mum always said, have a backup plan. You got to go to school, study, all that. But I said, you know what? Like if I'm going to do that, I'm already doubting myself. So when doubt starts to creep in, that's when you don't believe in yourself. My dad would support me on that. He'd say, that's what you want to do, son, then do it. And just make sure you give your best and never give up. So that was really the career my dad had for me anyway, in his head as well. He really believed in it, and he still believes in it till today, so. Yeah.
How did getting into, so if you say like your family's not a footballing family, how did you get into it then? How did that happen?
I think the first sort of stage of me kicking a ball was just in my backyard with my dad. He just literally, throw the ball, kick it, throw the ball, kick it in the backyard. And then I just joined my school team, my local school team, with my teammates in school. Nothing serious at all when I was like 6. Yeah. And then I started playing, and then everyone started saying how good I was. Because I was literally just tearing every kid up at 6 years old. Like, I'm not just saying that but I literally was, So there was something different about me when I used to dribble the ball, and the way I naturally just had a connection with the ball. So that's literally how it started.
I feel like that's quite a common story.
Yeah.
With like people who've gone on to
100%
to great things.
Yeah.
It's just a natural talent from birth.
Yeah.
There's no real you don't have that much time to work.
No. That's right, bro.
To it.
Yeah.
So right.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
It came naturally. Like even the competitive edge came naturally. Just wanted to be better than everyone else. Every other kid just came naturally. None of it was forced. It was all just, I was just obsessed with it, man, from a young age.
And so you played at your school team first.
Yeah.
So how does, right, now we're going to get into it,
because
your career starts quite young, from, as you said, 10.
Yeah.
So how did the Manchester City move come about? So for those, just before you get into that, for people listening, Louis Khoury, Australian wonderkid, Manchester City academy player. So how does that even come about if you were just playing school football?
Bro, the way it came about was a little bit later than school, but before that, I literally just moved up the ranks. Like, I'd go trial for the state team, I'd make it to the state team, then I'd go trial for a higher level in the state team, like whatever we had back then. There was something called Project 22. They wanted to sort of make this team to compete in the 2022 World Cup. Fell through anyway.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, P22.
I remember hearing about that. Wow.
So
you were part of that.
Yeah, I was a part of that thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Which it was pretty cool actually at the time. Like there was like loads of trials with kids, and then like the best, I don't know how many, but out of so many kids, the best few would they just make teams, and we just play in that. So my coach from P22, because I was in North, I used to be in the North sector. It was like North, East, Southwest. I was in the North one. He actually had a bit of a connection with Manchester City, and he was from England. So his name was Joe Mulberry. the coach, and he sort of saw something special in me again, and he knew that I was a good player. And at that time, I was actually already going to England on trial through another trial that I did with these other guys. I forget what it was called, but these scouts from England came, and then they'd like watch us play, and then they'd pick the best 3 or 4 players to go overseas. So I went overseas as like the 3 or 4, best players. And then he knew I was going. So he was working with Man City in Africa in a project called The Right to Dream. So they take the kids from Africa, the best kids, and Man City create pathways for them in them countries because they can't afford, like a good standard of living. They can't afford good coaches. So he linked me up a trial with Man City when I was there. And that's how that eventuated, bro. So then I just obviously went over to England, and then we'll continue with the rest of the story.
Well, as you say, so you went over there and you already had trials lined up elsewhere. Where else were you trialing?
So I had trials lined up. I was 10 years old at this time. So I had trials lined up at like Tranmere Rovers.
Okay.
Yeah, Tranmere. Yeah. They're probably League 1 now, or I'm not sure, League 2.
I think they're League 1.
League 1 or League 2 now, yeah. So I had trials lined up at Tranmere, Everton. Yeah. But Everton, like they call it the shadow squad, like the second team, not the proper academy.
Okay.
I had trials lined up with Nottingham Forest, Burnley.
Wow.
I think that was it. I'm pretty sure that was it. And then obviously Man City.
Yeah.
So they were the clubs that I initially had trials with.
So would I be right in assuming you had trials at those places and they also wanted you?
Bro, like I went over there so nervous, bro. Like I was scared. I'm like, these kids are going to be so good, you know? So like I literally didn't know what I was in for, yeah. And then I think literally within 30 minutes of my first training session with Tranmere Rovers, for example, they were like, we need to get this kid. We have to get him. They literally just pulled my mum and my brother aside because they took me over to England, my mum and my brother, and then they're like, we need to sign your brother. We need him. Literally after 30 minutes of training, bro. That was the first sign where I'm like, wow, okay.
Because not to make it about me.
Yeah.
But I went over to England and played against these academy teams.
Yeah.
So Liverpool and Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Academy.
Oh, really?
Right. And before that, I was there going, these are Premier League academies. Yeah. These kids are going to be unbelievable. Yeah. Like so much better than me, which Liverpool were pretty good.
Yeah.
But when you got there, I realized that the gap, it wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be.
Man. The biggest gap, I'll tell you where the big gap is from under 18s upwards, man. This is where you see like the levels from, for example, Sydney and Europe or England. That's when you just see it go from there to like there. The levels just separate because when you get to under 18s in England, it's just a different game, man. And then the investment, man, it's where the investment happens in other 100%. Players they buy and stuff like that. So I think at that level, if you're a really good player, like technically a really good player, you have a bit of a chance, I would say, when you're younger to get into an academy overseas or a top setup like me, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so you do these trials.
Yeah.
And no surprises, you sign at Manchester City.
Yeah,
So being an Aussie kid, like what was the culture like at the club? Being an Aussie kid.
So like when I was, obviously I went to Tranmere, then I went to like Everton Shadow Squad. I trialed there for like one session. Straight away they put me in the academy. Yeah. Like after one session, bang, straight away I was with the academy the next day. And then like I met like Tim Cahill, all these guys were like watching me because he's obviously Australian. You know what I mean? Yeah. He'll probably still remember till now. Like,
do you reckon?
Yeah, 100% he will.
Timmy Cahill's going to remember.
100% he will. If you say my name to him, 100% he'll remember. We lost contact.
Yes.
But quite like after that trip in England, when we came back to Australia, we had his number. Like, you know, we spoke to him on a regular basis for advice and on what to do with my career and stuff like that. So yeah, straight away I was in Everton's academy squad. They were like, we need to sign this guy. Like technically I was a different level, man. Like I still am. But technically at that age, bro, like I was well advanced off like nearly every kid there. Like 10 times over.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that.
So yeah, even at Man City, like when I first went there, first session, we need to get this kid. Literally the same thing. Like after the first session, so the hype was not made up, bro. You can't make that stuff up, you know. So it was literally from 4 or 5 top clubs. Like they're all really dying for me to sign from at that young age. So I went over there as an Aussie kid, bro. An Aussie kid isn't looked upon as a good player. Yeah. Over there, like who's this kid from Australia? Like he can't be that good.
You got to prove yourself.
Bro, you're already fighting against the wind coming from Australia. You know.
If you like this clip, then you might like the full episode. You can watch that over here, or consider subscribing over here so you don't miss any future episodes.